Hey, diddle diddle, give Rice the damn ball.
Give Rice the damn ball. Over 30 carries last week.
He needs to do that again this week.
They won. I mean, they won because of some luck. Let's be serious here, but they won.
He still had a nice game.
He did have a nice game. So you got Baltimore, New England.
Plus, like we've talked about, it keeps Brady off the field.
Yeah.
If you can run the ball and control the clock, Tom Brady doesn't have time to move that offense.
Yeah, just like when you play any other great offense and any other great quarterback, the goal is keep them off the field. Or do what San Francisco did last week and just run up the score so quickly that they can't respond. But, Anyway. Baltimore, New England. The rematch from last year. A game
One drop pass away from being the difference.
And don't forget a shanked field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Either one would have kept the field goal would have kept the game going. The drop pass would have won the game. I look at these two teams and I think to myself, you have a different New England team than we've seen over the past couple of years. A team that actually does run the ball, and they're pretty good at it. But can that be enough? Because Flacco's playing really good football right now. All in all, that man is actually playing some really good football. But can New England's more balanced offense and that hurry up be enough to compensate what that Baltimore Ravens team is playing with right now in the passion and drive to get Ray Lewis one more ring? I really feel like that is what you're looking at, because this New England defense actually isn't that bad so far in the playoffs. They looked okay against Houston, but they're young, and you can get them. You can definitely get them. Feed Ray Rice the ball and then hit him with some play action. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I look at this game and I feel like that's your real determining factor. Can the offense of New England suck that emotion and energy away from that Baltimore defense specifically, considering how much passion they have playing for Ray Lewis right now?
Yeah.
That's really what I look at in this game, because that hurry up is brutal. For defense.
How much do you think not having Gronkowski there is going to affect Tom Brady and the Patriots offense? Do you think it really throws them out of whack? Because
I don't think it affects them the way it affected them last year, where they had him, and then they lose him halfway through the conference championship game and have to figure out how to adjust. This team figured out how to adjust without Gronkowski a month and a half ago, and they've been playing like that way since. You go into your divisional round playoff matchup, and Shane Vereen, a guy that has been nothing more than an occasional role player for you in the NFL and on your team, scores 3 touchdowns. He goes out on an out route against a linebacker and blows right past him. So what they did was they took the matchup that you saw Gronkowski getting, and they put a running back in his place. Now, no, you're not as good as Gronkowski. You don't have the physical height, body, build, and all that kind of stuff that he does. But you can do the same role. You can still go run routes against linebackers. And that's, to me, the difference with this New England team already has adjusted to playing without Gronkowski. So to me, he would have been nothing but an addition to what they were doing. Now he is really just a guy they lost 2 months ago. It's like they never had him back.
How much does Shane Vereen get involved in the offense this week? I mean, everyone saw what he was able to do last week with the 1 rushing and the 2 receiving TDs. Does he actually see more time, and does he get more touches than Stephen Ridley in your mind?
Vereen?
Yeah.
I don't think he gets more carries, but he might end up with more touches. You know what I mean? He might be 4 or 5 carries short, but end up having 5 or 6 receptions. You know what I'm saying? I won't say I don't think he has more touches, but I will say I don't think he has more carries. But I think this New England offense is trouble. I hate it because I do not want to say New England move on again. I really don't. Look, they've been that damn successful. I'm just tired of watching them. I am. I want to see somebody else in the Super Bowl.
I'm rooting for one of two scenarios. I'm either rooting for a Harbaugh Bowl of the 49ers and Baltimore, or I'm going the opposite end of the spectrum, and I want to see Atlanta and New England, because I think those teams match up better against each other. You have Atlanta's offense versus New England's offense, and both defenses being okay defenses, pretty good defenses. On the opposite end, you have, if you went with the San Fran-Baltimore matchup, you have two teams that have really above-average defenses, very good defenses.
With good offenses.
With offenses, though, that can be streaky at times.
That I won't argue with.
So that's where I think that those two matchups would be the better matchups for the Super Bowl. If we can get one of those two matchups, I think we could be looking at a good game in 2 weeks from now.
You know what? And I completely agree with you. If you can end up with the Atlanta-New England or the San Fran-Baltimore, you get to sort of see, strength for strength kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is always a fun thing to watch in the Super Bowl. But I really, to pretty much, wrap up our talk when it comes to New England-Baltimore so we can have enough time to go to Atlanta-San Fran. If I'm going to ask you one question when I look at this game, to me, who is the guy who makes the biggest difference in this game? I don't care what team you pick, what side of the ball, outside of your big names. So let's take Ray, we're
going to take Rice, Flacco. Yeah. We're going to take
anybody that you would put on your fantasy football team will automatically eliminate them. And outside of that, we'll take Ray Lewis, and I'll take Haloti Ngata out of it. I'll leave Suggs in there because he hasn't really looked that good since he's come back from his injury. So I'll leave you with Suggs. But if there's one guy, no matter what team, I don't care which one of the two teams, no matter what side of the ball.
I'm thinking which guy can make the difference. And it's a guy I'm going to go with. Man, that's a tough question. Because there's a couple guys that come to mind. One being Brandon Lloyd. He's had his best games this season with Gronkowski out. Can he step up again and have another huge game? I think he can. But then again, I look at it from Baltimore's side of the ball, and I think a guy who could play a big factor in this game is Ed Reed.
There you go.
And I know he's a bigger name guy on that defense, but he's aging. He doesn't move as well as he used to. This could be his last go-around as well.
And you will see a little bit of almost a chess match between him and Brady.
And that's what I think is if he could find a way to create a turnover, if he could find a way to come up with a big play somehow, I think it could be
90-yard interception returns.
I don't even think he needs to return it. I think if he could just come up with a turnover, whether it be a forced fumble or an interception in some way, shape, or form, I think it could really help this Baltimore team get over that hump and win this game.
Yeah. See, to me, I go and I look at the defensive side of the ball for New England and Ninkovich. That outside linebacker they got, DN, sort of like that hybrid player. This guy seems to step up in some of the biggest moments and make some of the biggest plays for New England. And he reminds me of he almost reminds me of like Chase Blackburn with the Giants. Like some guy you look at and you don't really expect him to do much, but somehow just ends up in an area and makes a play in a big moment. You're like, oh, thank God you're on my football team. Well, that's it. Ninkovich is that guy for me. If he can get pressure on Flacco throughout the game and play the run well, I think New England's got a hell of a chance. So let's wrap it up with this. Who do you got?
I'm gonna take Baltimore.
I am too, but that's I'm gonna take Baltimore.
I'm gonna take Baltimore, 31-27.
Okay. 4-point game.
4-point game.
You know what's funny? I will not be surprised if this game comes down to exactly what last year's game came down to. But this year, I think Sir Anquan Bolden makes the catch that Lee Evans dropped last year.